Hello and welcome to today's live Ask Barn2 Anything Q&A.
I'm Sam, and I'm the head of video here at Barn2. And Katie and I will be showing you guys our plugins, answering your questions, and replying to your live comments. It's actually really easy to leave a comment wherever you're watching us from. You can leave a comment like on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, or any other platform, and we'll reply to you live during the show. We have pre-submitted questions, and then we'll also be getting to your questions live as well. So make sure you drop them in the comments.
So let's start with company news, because we've done two big updates in the last few days. Firstly, we've released version 2.6 of WooCommerce Product Options. That is our plugin that lets you add all sorts of different options to your product sales pages. And the new features are that you can now add quantity pickers to your options. So imagine you've got some checkboxes on your product pages. You can now allow customers to select a quantity of those checkboxes, and for lots of other styles too. People have also asked us for ways to send customers a link to kind of a pre-configured cart with certain options already selected. So you can now do that as well. We've added various price display options, like some people want to hide the product price until you select options. Some people want to add a prefix, don't know, or a suffix to the price, like starting from, or $100 plus customizations, or whatever you want. And finally, we have added role-based options to the plugin so that you can display product options for certain user roles only. So those are the new features in product options. A bit simpler for WooCommerce lead time. We've released version 2.2. Lead time is our plugin that it's very simple. It just lets you display a waiting time or a lead time or a handling time on the product's pages. And we've now added the ability for you to display that lead time using a block if you use the block editor, and also added support to display lead times within the shortcodes that WooCommerce provides to display options, to display products on your page. Someone's saying that they're just saying 01. If anybody else
Try
is
refreshing.
watching,
yeah, I would say just try refreshing first of all. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else watching, it'd be great if you could just say hello or something in the comments to confirm that you can see this okay.
Katie was having camera issues before we started. That's why we started maybe a minute late or so, but hopefully it will hang with us for the rest of the stream. Thanks for the updates about the plugins, Katie. And given that we don't have any particular general questions, I think we will just dive straight into our first plugin of the day, which is WooCommerce Product Options. Now, and in typical fashion, I could have added this window to share ages ago, but I forgot to do that. So here we are now. Oh, you can even see all my tabs. Maybe I should fix that.
Do you want me to do it? It says on the show notes that I'm to introduce this.
It's all show related. It's all show related tabs, so we're good to go. So this is our WooCommerce Product Options plugin, and one of the greatest features we've added to this is the ability to add, with the addition of a live preview add-on plugin, we can add previews for images and text to products. So this is just one example of how to use the plugin, but I've uploaded a file here, and this is a logo for Barn2, and this will relate to our next question. So basically I can resize and move around this image anywhere I want in the printable areas. Oops. And you can also add things like text depending on how it's set up. Other things that this plugin can do include things like options for example, for a pizza. So you've got things like radio buttons, checkboxes, multi-select checkboxes, and many other types of options like that. Basically, the plugin expands the functionality of variations within WooCommerce. I see we have a bunch of comments. Why don't we just have a quick look at those before we get into our first question?
Okay, so the first comment is from Vanessa. What one have you got on the screen?
Oh, sorry, I'm going through comments, not the questions.
Oh,
Like people
on the
watching
live
live.
comments. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, people say it is working. Yeah, while you were introducing product options, I just went onto YouTube and I can confirm it. We are live. People can
Oh,
see us.
good.
That's
Very
great.
good. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, so now we can get back into our first question. And yeah, oh, sorry, we
so
have Vanessa. Sorry, that's right.
Vanessa,
Vanessa
yes.
says she needs to start
Barn2
up.
variations, I need a start guide. Well, that could be about 4 plugins.
Mhm.
So shall we assume they mean bulk variations? Because that's the only one
I
with
assumed.
variations in the name.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't. I overlooked that because I thought of variations and I immediately thought of options. And
Because you can use it to display variations, but bulk variations has it in the name. So you can do lots with variations with our plugins.
yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick startup guide for options because that's the one I just introduced. So if you were starting from scratch and you wanted to use our plugin to add various types of options to a product, so let's do a simple example. Like you have a T-shirt and you want to add some color options, then you can click on Add Group. You can give it a name. So we could just call this one T-shirt colors. And then you can choose which products you're going to display it on. And I'm going to show it on specific categories. So I want to include the category of, say, clothing. Do I have something? Yes, I do have a category for clothing. So then the entire category of clothing will have these colors added to it. Then you scroll down here and click on Add Option and keep scrolling down until you find the type of option you want to use. In this case, I'm going to go with color swashes. And then down here, you can create custom choices. This is the new feature, isn't it? Choice type.
Yeah,
Display
the quantity bit is like part of what I just said from 2.6. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's enable that. And create choices using existing variation attributes. If you have already done the work of setting up variations in WooCommerce globally, then you can actually use this to set up your attributes. But if you choose this option, you can't use this new feature that we have. So I'm just going to create custom ones. First color is going to be like red. And then I'm just going to add a few more colors really quickly. So let's go with something blue and a green one as well. All right. And by the way, each of these can be modified um, in terms of the pricing. So you can make one color more expensive than the others based on things like one-time fee, percentage increase, and so on. Then there's other things. You can write a description which will explain to the customer what they're doing in this choice. And then you can, for color swashes, you can choose to use them or have a label. Like in this case, I want to have a label like red, blue, and green. And we can display those alongside the color swashes, which is probably a little bit more accessible. Finally, you have a required option. So that means that somebody must choose a color before they can proceed to checkout. There are other advanced settings, but that's not really what we're going over today. So, and we just need to give it a name here, sorry. Colors, the American spelling, haha. All right, and so now we've actually created this option group, and if I find a product on my site, let's see if I can find it very quickly. Clothing, here we go, and let's choose a t-shirt here. Oh, I've got another plugin running right now, our discount manager. So here I have an option to choose a red one, a blue one, or a green one, and I can add a quantity as well using this new feature we have. So this is how the color swashes look on my on my simple product page. And of course, there are ways that you can change kind of how they're looking. But that's the basic setup guide for product options. You create the options group, you add different option types to it, and then they automatically apply to whatever products you've already selected. Okay, how was that? Hopefully not too lengthy. I can't hear you, Katie.
That's because I muted so I could type. We've got pre-submitted questions about our other variations plugin, WooCommerce bulk variations. So when we get to that, we will talk about how that plugin works for variations as well, so that hopefully we can cover whichever plugin Vanessa would find most useful.
And then getting back to another pre-submitted question. This is the entire question, by the way. It just says logo design. So we don't actually have a plugin for logo design. There are plenty of design, well, not just plugins, but entire software for design out there. So we don't help people to design the logo, but we do have the, like I showed you before, the option to preview a logo on your product. So here's an example here where we have our Barn2 logo, and this can be added to anywhere inside these squares for the printable area. So I don't know if that's helpful for you or not, but it might be helpful for your customers to be able to see what their logo looks like on your products before they buy them. And that's with the live preview add-on.
Yeah, I had not thought about that. We do actually, there is a logo use case for our plugin. So maybe that is what he meant rather than do we provide logo design or something.
All right. So that was all for the that was all for the pre-submitted questions there. I see lots of people have joined in and are chatting with us, so that's great to see. Katie, do you want to address any of the live comments?
Got hello to everybody that said hello, and I think we've got a question about product filters in a minute, haven't we, pre-submitted? So let's cover the live question about filters when we get to that plugin.
Okay, great. Yeah, great to see you guys, Sylvie and yeah, Noeed. Nice to see you guys watching from various different platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and StreamYard. Awesome.
Yeah, 57 people at the moment, which is impressive for January, particularly.
Okay, great. Then we're already jumping into Document Library Pro then. Let me bring my screen back up. So Document Library Pro, this is a wonderful plugin, especially we have realized recently for nonprofits and organizations who have websites that share, documents and other resources for their members. And so this is a table view. This is one of the ways that you can lay out all of the documents on your site. The basic layout is you've got the name or title of the document, a little bit of information about it, and then some download links on the right-hand side, as well as a preview option. So if you click on a preview button, it'll bring up an actual preview of the presentation in this case. And then the download button, obviously that downloads it for you. And I'll just change the banner so we can see what we're talking about here. Nice. Okay. Now, so this is our Document Library Pro plugin for anyone who just missed that. There is also a folder view, which takes whatever view you're using and compresses it into these folder structures. So if you're using a table layout, it'll show up as a table once you click on the bottom folder there. And if you're using a grid view, then this is how the documents will look. Same idea, you've got a name, a little bit of information, download, and preview options. But some people prefer this view, although we did find out in some internal research that most people actually prefer to use the table view on their websites. So that's interesting. There are many different integrations, ways to use this plugin, and let's get into the questions.
So we had several questions. We had questions from Lorian. who says, we are using a customized My Account page in WooCommerce for our wholesale customers to access resources. Can the document library work as a shortcode in that environment? So yes, the great thing about Document Library Pro is that while it does create a page which you can use as a centralized document library if you want, it also comes with a shortcode that you can use to list documents anywhere on your site. So if you do have a custom area within your WooCommerce account, for example, you might be using a plugin like Iconic's WooCommerce account page, which lets you add basically extra tabs within the WooCommerce customer account and then add content to those tabs. You can put the document library shortcode within those tabs, either listing all your documents or just specific documents. Or if you are using the advanced plan with Document Library Pro, there's actually access restrictions so that you can show different documents to different users. That would work within the WooCommerce account area. So let's say you've restricted documents to a particular user role or individual user accounts. Each user would only see the documents that they have access to within that page in the account area. So that would work really well.
Excellent. And we have a question from Michael, which is to do with purchasing. Is it possible to provide a purchase order number and pay on an account? Now, typically, the most, let's say, convenient way for you to buy a plugin from us is to go through our normal checkout and use a credit card. You can get it instantly, it's all automated, and you don't have to contact us. However, there are some organizations, especially considering the use cases of Document Library Pro, which require different payment structures. And we will be willing to accommodate that in some particular cases if you get in touch with our support team and ask them about it. But the main thing that we need to have is you buy a lifetime license, because if it's something that has to recur every year, then it's actually not possible for us to do that. Have I said all that correctly there, Katie?
That's right. Yeah, we can do manual stuff for people who need to purchase orders, invoices before they buy, whatever. You just have to buy a lifetime license so that we don't need to do it for every renewal.
Yeah. So you can do that through contacting support, but it's not the normal checkout process in that case. But it's definitely possible. All right. And straight away, we can jump into WooCommerce bulk variations. Now, if you just give me 1 second to switch the banner, here we go. This is a demo for WooCommerce bulk variations. So bulk variations accomplishes two main things. First of all, on the front end of your website, like on product pages, I should say, it gives you this kind of, some people call it a table. We prefer to call it a grid layout because it's less confusing, where you have the things like sizes and colors existing in the entire layout and quantity pickers for each of those. And you can see some of them have different prices, like the extra small size has a price of $15, whereas the extra large is $25, and basically everything in between. So you can allow customers to add various different sizes and colors on the product page and add all of those items to their cart in one click, as opposed to having to go back to reloading the product page, reselecting the size and color, and then picking the quantities one by one, which is very frustrating, especially for larger bulk orders. So that's one of the main things it accomplishes. And the other thing it accomplishes is in the back end of your site when you're managing your variations. The plugin actually has filters which allows you to manage many different variations at once. So if you need to change the price of all of your extra small items, all of your extra small variations in every color, you can do that using our plugin in one step rather than doing it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So it saves you time on the back end, and it helps save time for customers on the front end. And by the way, if you have more than 2 variations, then we have accounted for that. It's just that it'll show up as drop downs within the grid. So there's a drop down for style, there's a drop down for logo, and there's a quantity picker, in addition to, of course, the color and size grid here. So that's a little demo of how this plugin works. And now we have a question, Katie.
Yeah, so Redel, I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong, has asked some questions about editing variations. I have a variable product I need to set up with a lot of variations in my WooCommerce store. With all the combinations, I'm looking at nearly 10,000 unique possibilities. Is this something the bulk variations plugin can handle? Yes. So that's how it's interesting with variations, isn't it? Because you have to create a variation for every possible combination of attributes that people can select, you can surprisingly easily end up with like 10,000 or something, surprisingly easily. So then, yeah, with WooCommerce as it comes, that is a pain to create and manage. So I'm going to tell you 3 different ways to do that. Firstly, I'll say WooCommerce itself can cope with that many variations. The reason is that after you have something like 70 variations on a product, it switches to Ajax. And so once it gets to that point, it's not loading them all at the same time. It's lazy loading them when needed. So performance-wise, your store can do it. I'm assuming you've got quite good hosting, hopefully. But the problem is the management of those variations. And let's go to my screen now. This is a WooCommerce product page. I'll just go to the top, edit product screen you'll be familiar with. So I'm going to scroll down to the variations tab. This is where WooCommerce bulk variations makes it easier. This is one of the features that Sam referred to a minute ago. And the key thing here is the filters that our plugin adds. It's added a filter here for each of the attributes. And that means that you can quickly select, say, all the red ones or all the large ones or whatever. And then you can use the bulk actions drop down to make a range of changes. Some of these come with WooCommerce itself and not our plugin. The key thing is that our plugin has allowed you to filter by attributes. And our plugin has added some additional options. For example, WooCommerce on its own does not have a set or remove thumbnail option. That is added by our plugin. So that makes it much easier to add your variations. But there are other things that you can do as well. So first, I'm going to show you Settery.com, which is a WooCommerce bulk editor. It's basically a spreadsheet, which you can see here, where you can display all your products and variations in a spreadsheet outside of your WordPress admin. So there's no performance issues. And each variation has its own row. So that's really great for managing variations because well, you can do all sorts. You can click within a cell and update it that way, which is loads quicker than doing it in the WordPress admin. You can select multiple variations by, there's various filters, so you can select by attribute or whatever. And then there's a bulk actions option, so you can say increase all prices by 10% or whatever. And you can also clone, duplicate rows to create additional variations. And then you just edit whatever piece of information is unique to the new variation. So I would say that is a much quicker way to create and manage variations, even than WooCommerce bulk variations, because you can do this across multiple products at once. And finally, we get to WooCommerce product options, which Sam already demoed earlier in this live stream. And with WooCommerce product options, you still have to create you can create your variations and display it in product options. But as Sam showed you, you can also create options directly using our plugin. And I think I'm going to give you an example, actually, because it's a little bit hard to explain, but it's actually a really good alternative to variations, so that you don't need variations at all. And that means you don't have to create a combination for every and variation for every combination. So I've gone into product options, add new option group, and I want to add an option. So I'm going to call it size. And what I'm going to do is create custom choices. I am not going to use existing variation attributes. So what I'm going to do here is say like S, M, L, whatever, for the sizes. If I want, I can change the price for the sizes. So I might want to charge, say, actually it's more realistic to charge more for the large, isn't it, than the small. And I'm going to create another one to show you as well. So that's one option. Now I'm going to add another option, which is going to be color. I'm going to use color swatches because that is more visual. And I'm going to have a black one and a red one and select red. So let's save our option group. Oh, I've got to name it. Okay, I'm not going to bother saving it. The point is that I have just created size and color with checkboxes for size and color swatches for color. And I do not need to create variations from this. What will happen on the product page is that there will be the size checkboxes and the color swatches, and the customer can just mix and match those with, and the price will change based on the options selected, like we've just seen. That is a lot quicker than creating variations because you don't have to create, say, black small, black medium, black large, red small, etc. So that's why product options is a good alternative to variations.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now we are going to jump into the next plugin, which is product filters. And I believe we had a live question about that one. Should we let's quickly intro the plugin and then we'll get to Sylvie's question. How about that?
Yeah. So WooCommerce Product Filters is our filtering plugin. WooCommerce itself does come with some basic filter widgets, which you can put in the sidebar. Our plugin significantly builds on this with much more advanced filters, which you can have either above the list of products, as you can see here, or in the sidebar. Our plugin has much more visual options. As you can see, we've got image filters, radio buttons, clickable text links, color swatches, range sliders, all sorts of different styles for your filters, and you can display them in different locations. And there's lots more options as well that you get, like on mobiles, you can have a cool slide out panel instead of displaying them on the page, and all sorts of things to add more advanced filtering to your store. Let's get to the question. Should we do Sylvie's first since she's watching live? So she says, is WooCommerce Product Filters working with Divi 5 and also Woo Essential? Because there isn't a free version, they can't test compatibility. Yeah, that is correct. We provide an admin demo, but the admin demo doesn't let you test it in your environment with your theme and so on. So yes, I can confirm that it does work with those things. I'm going to give you some details. This is a page in our knowledge base. Sorry, I've jumped to a link. I'm going to scroll back to the top so you can see it. It's using product filters with blocks, page builder plugins, and WooCommerce shortcodes. And on the right, we've got a section about Divi Builder. So I'm going to click on that. And that confirms it's fully compatible with Divi Builder. Specifically, you must use the product list and filters group modules in Divi. And when you do that, the product filters will work with it. If Divi has other ways of listing products, they may not work with the filters. So use one of those. You can still use all the other blocks that come with Divi and Woo Essential, which basically adds add-ons to Divi, like the mini cart and whatever other features. But specifically, the list of products which you want to update when people select filters must be the product list or the filters group in Divi in order for it to work.
Awesome. Yeah, so in short, it should work. But if you're testing it out and you find it's not working for you, we also do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we expect it to work with Divi, and if it doesn't, then we would like to know about it. But also, you're safe in terms of your purchase. It's not a one-way street there. We obviously offer that guarantee for a good reason. Now, in our product filters pre-submitted questions, we did actually have one comment from a guy named Scott. So he says, why does the plugin not have basic pagination, and which doesn't allow you to, which should allow you to click on the first or last pages, or click more than a few pages ahead? And he says he expects it to be part of the plugin. So Katie told me before the show
Yeah.
that mhm.
So I'll just show you here what he's referring to. So this is the bottom of the product page, which has WooCommerce product filters on. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a right arrow. The problem is that if you had, say, 30 pages, it would show all 30 links. And I agree with him. And so based on his feedback, I have now created a task for our lead developer to add more logic to the pagination, so that if you have lots of links, then it will display things like first and last instead of displaying 30 links, which isn't very helpful. So we will add that to the plugin. I don't have a time scale yet. And at the moment, that just applies if you have lots and lots of links, because at the moment, as you can see, what we've got is fine if you've only got 5 pages. It's when you have many that we're going to add more flexibility.
There's no end to the number of different ways that people use WordPress, WooCommerce, and of course our plugins. So we're constantly trying to keep up with feature requests, and we do take them seriously. And once we have a number of different people submitting the same feature request, it becomes a priority, and we reach out to those customers once we've completed that feature. So if you're waiting for it, do submit it as a feature request, and we'll get back to you once it's ready and you can update your plugin.
Yeah, the reason it didn't have it yet is because while the plugin is 3 years old, maybe, we recently, only a couple of months ago, did a major refactor of the front end to make it more compatible with things like Divi, as Sylvie was asking about. So that was a complete rewrite of the front end. And part of that involved adding our own pagination to the plugin. Previously, it would use the pagination from the theme, but then we discovered that lots of people were reporting compatibility issues between the filters and the pagination. So we've now added our own custom pagination, and therefore it's a relatively new feature that we need to keep building on.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to jump into WooCommerce Product Table. So WooCommerce Product Table, also one of our very popular plugins, especially in, of course, WooCommerce. And its main function is to just list your products in a table layout. This is especially useful for wholesalers and people who sell lots and lots of different SKUs, and they have customers who come and order a variety of different things, and they need to do it quickly because they already know what they want. They're not necessarily shopping, like window shopping. They're kind of ordering, rather in that sense. So this is just one way that you can lay out the table, but there's almost endless ways to customize the various different columns. And so here we have a small image, a name, a little bit of information about the product price, and of course the buy column where people can add quantities and select a whole bunch of items and add them to their cart all at once. We even have this little feature where maybe I can actually zoom in. Yes, I can. It says add 6 items for $165. So it gives a summary in this button of what you're ordering. There are plenty of other features, integrations, and different ways to use it. So let's just show you, for example, the quick order form. If you're integrating this, it's also a good idea to get our filter plugin. This is not actually our filter plugin. This is the default filtering options. But if you have is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have our filter plugin, then all of our advanced filters will also be here. And then you can see that in this table, we're prioritizing things like stock, price, and SKU. So it's really an actual order form in that sense. And if there happen to be variations, they show up as drop-downs within the table. And then these variations can be selected and added as part of the order without having to leave this table. So using this quick order form, somebody could theoretically order all of the items they need without ever leaving this page, which, as you can imagine, is much faster and in terms of performance, saves you a lot as well. So that's the main use for WooCommerce Product Table. Now let's get into the first question.
So Faisal says, in a general e-commerce site, if this plugin is added, will it change the entire back end to this table, or can it be used for certain category business only, like photography, etc.? So WooCommerce Product Table, it affects the front end, so what your customers see. That might be the public part of your store, or if you're using it with something like our Wholesale Pro plugin, it might only appear to certain users who have logged in. Basically, you can either tick a box which will output it on all your store pages, which might be your main shop page, your product categories, product tag archives, whatever. In that case, it would take over your store. Or you can leave those pages as they are and instead use a block or a shortcode to insert a product table into a normal page. So in this example that Sam is showing us, we've got 3 different product tables on the same page. That obviously isn't a default WooCommerce shop page because it has multiple product lists on it. This is a custom page where we have manually added multiple tables. So what Faisal also mentions is whether you can enable the table for specific categories only. While that is not a specific feature, there is a way that you can do it. And to do that, you need to create a new page and insert a table which lists products for the category that you want to list products for, like the photography category. That is a new page in WordPress in the pages section. It is not your photography category page. So you then need to install a free plugin like redirection to redirect your actual photography category page to this product table page that you just created for the photography products. So the navigation of your store will be exactly the same. It's just that customers will end up on this custom page where you've added a product table. And yeah, it is very popular for photographers, particularly photographers that do unique photos for each client. Like after a photo shoot, they might use it with, say, our WooCommerce Protected Categories plugin to create a hidden category for each customer so that they can order the photos from their photo shoot.
Our next question is from Mark. Mark says, I'm looking into the previously purchased products plugin from yourselves. And just to clarify, unless I have been asleep for 3 years, I'm not aware of any plugin that matches that description. Katie, can you clarify?
Oh, you missed it. I noticed support because this came through our support notice. Yes, we have one tutorial on our site about how to display previously purchased products, which
Okay, so it is this one.
WooCommerce. It's a lesser known feature of WooCommerce Product Table, where you create a table which only displays products that the current user has previously bought. So people do cool things like put it in their account area. Again, let's say you're using Iconic's account pages plugin. You might create a my favorite product page in the account area, and then you use our product table plugin with this particular shortcode option that will only display products that that user has previously bought. So yeah, the wording is interesting, but that's what he's referring to.
Okay, got it. So it's a use case of the plugin rather than an actual plugin itself. Because I thought
But
he was
because
talking
our
about.
marketing is so amazing, you see, people think of it as each use case, even though that's not the name of the plugin.
Yeah, yeah. And Mark wants to know if it would allow for manual product submission, like via CSV upload, etc. So I'm just showing this page now, which is a blog page actually, which the title of "Encourage Repeat Sales in WooCommerce. Display all products purchased by user." So if you have a read of this, you'll find a lot of great information about how to set up these kinds of product tables. And in regards to the manual product submission, I didn't quite understand how how this all ties in together, Katie.
Right. So this is about well, really, he means import, doesn't he? Because he's saying manual product submission via CSV upload, etc. Yeah, it doesn't tie into previously purchased products, does it? That's a separate thing. Maybe he just has two questions about the plugin.
Yeah. If you want to edit your products in a table layout, that's not what this plugin's for, but Settery does that really well. So this is how you have this sort of spreadsheet style, which actually shows all of the information about the products. And this is linked into WooCommerce. It's not just for your records. This is actually a copy of what's being stored in WooCommerce. And if you update a price, it will update it on WooCommerce. And so, as far as I'm aware, you can upload product details through Settery, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, you can either import a CSV to Settery, or you can create a new row and fill in the details, or you can duplicate an existing row, i.e. product, and then you just update the product name and price and whatever. So it provides various easy ways to add products. And then, as you say, that will be displayed in the product table. I think the key point here is that adding and importing products is nothing to do with our plugin, because our plugin displays WooCommerce products. So our plugin will work with literally any method of creating products in WooCommerce. We're just suggesting some recommendations here, but you can use any method to add them.
Hello, Lawrence. Thanks for watching live on LinkedIn. I hope you're enjoying the show. Guys, we will be wrapping up the stream fairly soon. So if you have any other questions you want to ask us live, and it can be really about any of our plugins, then yeah, please pop them on in the chat wherever you're watching from, and we'll get to you just as soon as we can. Now, with that said, we're going to, I'm just going to remove my screen there. We're going to jump into the next plugin. So this will be for WooCommerce Fast Cart.
So yeah, WooCommerce Fast Cart is our mini cart plugin, although it's not really mini except for visually, it's quite important to your site. This is a WooCommerce site, and what I'm going to do is add some products to the cart so that you can see what happens. When I added the product, the Fast Cart, this is our plugin, has appeared on the screen. You can either have it auto open like this to encourage people to complete their order quickly, or you can display a floating cart icon instead so they can go to that whenever they choose, if you prefer. That's all about how quickly you want to push them through the purchase process, and whether your priority is to get them to complete that order now, or whether you want them to keep browsing. But even if you want them to keep browsing, it's useful for that, because you can see when we scroll down, it's displaying related products within the Fast Cart. And so I'm going to show how it integrates with our other plugin, WooCommerce Quick View. Here we've opened the Quick View to learn more about the product that was in the Fast Cart. I'm going to click Add to Cart, and now both products are in the Fast Cart. So that shows how our two plugins are working together. Now, there are loads of mini cart plugins out there, and the unique thing about ours is that it also adds the checkout to the mini cart. So here we go. We are on the checkout, and the customer can enter their details, not my real address, and they can then complete their order and pay directly from within that Fast Cart. If you want, you can even completely disable the default WooCommerce cart and checkout pages and always use the Fast Cart, or it can be a quick addition to them, however you want to set it up.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. So I'll jump into this question from Becky. Hi, in the checkout fields, can I remove street address and city state? I sell digital products, so I really only need country or zip. Now, I actually have a few answers to that, because I literally just covered this topic in a video I recorded the other day, and that'll be coming up on the channel in probably about a week or so. One thing you can change right away, depending on your theme, is I'm in my theme, not so much theme editor, but like the basically the default theme settings. So this is in,
That's the
I think it's
WooCommerce
the,
customizer.
yeah, the WooCommerce customizer. Yeah. So click on WooCommerce, click on checkout, and you can hide things like the company name, address, line 2, and phone field. But if you're selling digital products, you'll probably want to take it a step further. I've seen people do this with a bit of custom code on their theme editor. That's probably easy enough to do. But Katie, would you recommend a plugin in this case, or a little bit of custom coding to remove all the address fields that are not required? I think the country is still required for tax purposes on
It
digital
depends on
products.
your payment gateway. But yeah, like on the Barn2 site, we have hidden all the fields apart from, I think, the country and the zip code, because that's what our payment gateway required. So you should check that even for digital products. But yeah, I totally agree that most WooCommerce checkouts have far too many fields, and that you should hide all the ones that aren't needed, because the shorter the checkout, the more conversions you're going to get. That is proved by a lot of data. So yeah, if you don't want to do custom code, there are loads of checkout field editor plugins. Just type checkout field editor plugin into anything, Google, AI, whatever, and you'll find them. The official one on WooCommerce.com marketplace is good, although I think that any of them do the job just fine, really, because it's a relatively simple use case. Some of them have extra features like the ability to charge extra fees on the checkout and add different types of fields, a bit like our WooCommerce Product Options plugin, but for the checkout, whereas others just let you edit and hide fields in a more basic way. And I think for Becky's needs, any would do.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I was pretty sure that the plugin was activated. I was trying to show the fast card on my site because I thought I had it all set up properly. Replace the checkout page. Yeah, it should be working. Just wondering why. Oh, there it is. This is what I want. I was just going to show you that I did some edits to the cart and checkout pages using Elementor. So you can see like this little border and a couple of other little changes. And actually, it loads in the fast cart, which I was quite impressed to see. So if you're making changes to the design of your site using Elementor, including your cart and checkout pages, those designs will be preserved when you use FastCart. And the main reason why you might want to use FastCart is to either skip the cart entirely and go straight to checkout, or have this kind of pop in and pop out feature, which customers can use to check out when they're ready, and it'll follow them around and things like that. So yeah, there's a few reasons why you might want to use the fast cart feature. Basically, just speeds it up. And once you open this cart or checkout in this case, it doesn't have to reload a new page. It's all done on this page, and then once they finish the checkout, it should just take them to the order confirmation page. Is that well? That seems like the right order flow in my mind.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple of quick fire questions from Matt, and gonna hand these off to Katie.
Yeah. So firstly, he says, can different payment options like Stripe be used? Yes. It works with most payment gateways, including all the major ones, the ones that you get with WooCommerce, the official Stripe plugin, PayPal, WooPayments, major gateways. The only possible exception is that as some of the smaller payment gateways might have been coded to only work on the checkout page. And normally that's fine, because our checkout is actually behind the scenes an iframe of the checkout page. So that's why whatever you do to the checkout page, such as customizing it using Elementor, as Sam did, will work in the fast checkout. That means that a payment gateway would have to have been coded in a very restrictive way to not work within the fast checkout. And I believe they exist, although they're generally the more minor ones, and most of them will work and are tested. There's a page in our knowledge base where it does list specific payment gateways as well, if you want that reassurance. Or, of course, we've got our 30-day money-back guarantee if you do run into any problems, but it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was, will this product take customers for the cart through the entire checkout process? Yes, as we've seen, you can have the entire checkout within the pop-up cart. It's not just a mini cart plugin. Next question was, how easy is it to set up? Yeah, it's really easy. So you don't even have to use the settings page, which Sam just showed us actually, because when you install the plugin, the setup wizard automatically appears in the WordPress admin, and that will take you through all the key options step by step, such as choosing the layout you want for the cart, what information you want to appear in the cart, whether it will auto open or display a floating cart icon, and whether you want the cart and checkout or just the cart, and so on. So all of that happens in the setup wizard. And then once you finish that wizard, the fast cart will already be live on your site. So you can just test it straight away and get on with your day. And the final question from Matt was, can you customize the checkout process with a logo or different colors? Now, as we said a minute ago, the styling comes from the main checkout page in WooCommerce, and our plugin is simply displaying that page within the pop-up. And that means that any changes you make to your checkout page and its styling and the logo and everything and the colors will be reflected in our plugin. And you can use any method that you would normally use to edit a WooCommerce page, such as custom CSS or a plugin like Elementor, as Sam did.
And there's also these design options. Do they override those if you use them, or are they just there in case you don't have any settings set up?
I believe they're from the cart. They're for the cart rather than and the
Just
floating cart icon, because the content of the checkout page is not controllable in our plugin. It's just the main checkout.
Okay. Yeah. And so it's mainly just the elements that the plugin adds specifically that you can design here, or you can add colors for. And that's all the quick fire round of questions from Matt. Nicely done. Alrighty. In case we have any other chance to answer your question, now is the time, or should we just wrap up? I think we're ready to wrap up.
We've done all the pre-submitted questions and we've given people a warning already. So I think we're done.
Yeah, fair enough. So thank you guys so much for joining us live. Thank you for leaving your comments and pre-submitting your questions. We're doing these every month. So if you want to get ahead and pre-submit a question for the next one, well, maybe right now is not the best time to pre-submit a question because you won't see us for another month. But if you if you happen to be curious, then yeah, you can find our next events on our events page. Let me just find that banner quickly. Here it is. And let's show that.
Sorry, I think we clicked on things. So I'll stop clicking.
Okay, sure. The Barn2.com events page has all our upcoming scheduled live streams where you can pre-submit your questions. Our next live stream will be on the 19th of February, and after that, every month. So really appreciate you guys joining us today.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.